In this session, we will be talking about building India's new space manufacturing ecosystem, the role of centers of excellence. This session will examine how India's first state-led center of excellence, Karnataka SpaceTech, a joint initiative of SIA-India and the Government of Karnataka, can support talent development, industry academia, collaboration, prototyping, digital engineering, and next generation manufacturing capabilities for India's new space economy. I invite the chair, Mr. Harsha, KAS DM, the Karnataka Innovation and Technological Society. Moderator, Mr. DS Govindrajan, Board Member SIA, Director and CEO, COE SpaceTech Karnataka. I invite speakers, Mr. Ajay Kumar, VP Mission Development Helogen, Mr. Vivek Salvi, Senior Sales Director, Dassault Systèmes India, Dr. Srinivas G, Associate Professor, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Mr. Mudit Kumar, Founder, Ideabaaz, India. With that, I would like to hand over the floor to the moderator, to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me a chair in this panel discussion alongside such distinguished guests from the industry. Congratulations to SIA and best wishes for a successful and impactful event. It is privileged to represent Department of Electronics, IT, BT, and Science and Technology, Government of Karnataka. Karnataka recently unveiled its space technology policy, a comprehensive framework designed to support and accelerate the growth of space sector. It is a privilege to be here to represent the department, and many of you already have been aware of the space technology policy, a comprehensive framework which will be a part of this today's event. Over the years, department has led several transformative initiatives across sectors such as ESDM, information technology, biotechnology, GCCs, cybersecurities. Programs such as Elevate have helped entrepreneurs bridge the gap between ideas and proof of concept, while NAIN has enabled us to identify, nurture entrepreneurial talent early by building innovation ecosystems within our academic institutions. Increasingly, our colleges, universities are evolving into pre-angel incubation platforms, creating a pipeline of future founders and innovators. To complement these initiatives and ensure sustained engagement with emerging and deep technologies, Karnataka has established a network of Center of Excellence. The most recent addition is the Center of Excellence for Space Technology. With this, the department now supports more than 17 Centers of Excellence across strategic technological domains. We see Center of Excellence not merely as an infrastructure project, but as market facilitators, ecosystem builders, and innovation accelerators. They provide us with an authentic view of how technologies are evolving, where opportunities are emerging, and where government support can create greatest impact. They help us make informed decisions and direct public investments where they can most effectively advance our long-term vision. Our approach to the space sector reflects this philosophy. We hereby begin by establishing the Center of Technology and subsequently launching the policy today. When it comes to the deep technology, the department believes in being hand-on, and we are committed not only supporting innovation but also becoming meaningful adopters of the technologies we help create. We are working closely with Karnataka Remote Sensing Application Center, one of the leading organizations of its kind in the country, to ensure that the benefits from the latest technological advancements emerging from our ecosystem. We want our institutions to both contribute to and gain from the innovations we enable. Karnataka has always been willing to take bold bets on the future. It is one of the reasons why state continues to lead in the India's startup ecosystem. Our position strengthened further in 2025, supported by exceptional talent based not only in Bangalore, but also across Mangalore, Mysore, Belagavi, and other emerging innovation hubs. While Bangalore remains India's premier destination for deep tech entrepreneurship, the state's innovation story is increasingly being written across multiple cities and regions. In this context, responsibility of our Center of Excellence extends beyond Bangalore. They must ensure a pulse of innovation felt in capital riverbeds throughout Karnataka. The vision is articulated in our space technology policy to capture 50% of the India space economy market share by 2023, and that cannot be achieved by policy alone. It requires strong institution, thriving startups, industry participation, research excellence, and center of excellence that actively shapes the strengthen the ecosystem. We are therefore developing mechanisms to evaluate and measure the influence of these centers have on market creation, technology adoption, and ecosystem growth. Encouragingly, the Center of Excellence for Space Technology has already begun expanding in engagement into allied domains such as BT, microgravity research, and other interdisciplinary fields. Its location within Anand Technologies ecosystem provides an additional advantage by placing it closer where innovation is translated into real-world products and applications. We believe we have put right foundations in place. We are in right place at right time with right partners. We look forward to seeing their ecosystem grow stronger and deliver meaningful outcomes for Karnataka, for India, and the future of space technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. As clearly explained, the establishment of COE by Karnataka government, I don't have much to talk about that, but still, as a moderator, I would like to set some context to our discussions. As we all know, Government of India came out with the reforms in space sector in 2020, and following that, they came out with a new space policy in 2023. What it means, it not only meant to provide opportunities for private entrepreneurs to start their activities in the space sector, it also provide opportunities for state government to come out with their own innovative ideas to promote the space sector in the respective state. I'm happy to state that Karnataka, always a step ahead when it comes to technology, also took a leading role in coming out with its own space policy, and as an extension of that, initiated in setting up the Center of Excellence in Space Technology in Karnataka. So with that, as we all know that India has entered a new era of space sector growth. In this evolving ecosystem, what unique role should centers of excellence play that universities, startups, industry, and government agencies alone cannot do? We had to put some questions to ourselves, like, should COEs primarily be centers of research, talent development, technology incubation, or industry problem-solving institution? Where should the priority be? As India targets a large share of global space economy, here I want to mention that generally whenever we come out with a policy, either we can be a follower or a leader. So our national space policy clearly states that, okay, we want to attain from 2% share of the global space economy to 10% and beyond that. That shows the intent of the government to be a leader. So That means we also have to follow that leadership role. So as India targets a larger share of the global space economy, what capabilities must COEs develop today to prepare for the opportunities of the next decade? Setting this context, to discuss all these things, we have excellent set of experts here coming from different areas. I'm happy to introduce Mr. Vivek Salvi. He's a Senior Director at Dassault Systems. And Ajay Kumar, Vice President at Helogen Corporation, USA. Dr. G. Srinivas, he is Assistant Director and Associate Professor at Manipal Academy of Higher Education. So we have a fantastic panel. So generally, you know, our tradition is we respect gurus. So Dr. Srinivas happens to be the guru coming from the academic education. Let me just begin this discussion by asking Dr. Srinivas. See, generally, industry often says academia works on interesting problems, while industry says that they want solutions. So where do you see that we can probably, that is, institutions like yours work to solve that? That means you are working on interesting problems, but industry wants solutions. So where do you stand in addressing that? So before that, may I request you to kindly take 2 minutes to explain about Manipal Academy of Higher Education so that people know about that. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Myself, I'm Dr. Srinivas, Assistant Director, Development from MIT Manipal Academy of Higher Education. We briefly call it as MAHE, which is located in coastal Karnataka, main campus Manipal. We do have campuses across the world and India as well, Bangalore, Jaipur, Jamshedpur, and other places as well. And basically, Manipal Academy of Higher Education is a institutions like we have a legacy of technology, engineering. We have a medicine called Kasturba Medical College, KMC. We have life sciences called Manipal School of Life Sciences. We shortly brief it as MSLS. And we have many other constitution institutions as well, which can go through MAHE website. And having a legacy of this engineering technology, medicine, and also life sciences, it's all together is a major strength for us to be, say as this, a big position that is ranked among the top leading universities across the world and also the nation. So this is about a short brief about Manipal Academy of Higher Education, MAHE. So coming to the sir's raised question, where we should stand, particularly in the technology which we are today. So as an academician, I would say that it is essential to bring up the technology which could be a problem solving from the engineering perspective. It could be a problem solving from the medicinal, which is indigenously developing and producing a new era of medical systems. And also the life sciences, which you can procure it to the different applications across all the disciplines. So technology is not just meant for one area. It is a culmination of all these. It can be an engineering, it can be a medicine, it can be a life sciences, or any other, the procurement which you can see in the education hub. All these, when you merge together as a multidisciplinary concept, and which can really give it to the useful products to the society through an industries or the product which can release to the market in a effective way, which can useful to the society and the people, that itself is a great innovation, I believe. This is what my perspective from as an academician.
Thank you. when IT revolutions happened,
Sir.
everybody wanted to do computer science.
Yes.
So like that, what we want, if the space industry to grow
Okay.
from wherever it is today to wherever we want that to be in 10 to 15 years, we want young engineers to come up.
Correct.
So what, as an educational institution of repute, you do to inspire students to take space as a subject for them to pursue their career?
All right. So I would say, as a aerospace background professor from a deemed university, as like a Mahi, for a general people moment when we say that a space, students' perspective when they get into the engineering program, they would say that it is only about rocket science, or missiles, or aeroplanes, etc. But space is not just talking about rockets, and which can give actually applications to many of the entrepreneurs who can be also involved. For example, people who wanted to work on an agriculture and on a ground to develop this agriculture paddy, it would take out 3 to 4 months of time. But if a microgravity level, if you really can able to produce that, and it would take high amount of cost, time, and even the experiments, for example, life sciences, if you take, the cancer cells which you are likely to test it at the ground, which would take the high amount of time as well as cost, but even if it's the same microgravity conditions, if you are likely to test it, then it would take hardly a few days that you can really get a very good results at the ground instead of ground at a space microgravity level. If you can able to generate that artificial environment through the space applications which is being told, maybe a life sciences or other agriculture are there such. So it is not restricted to a just launch vehicle or a rocket. One can really see that can be even attached to any other applications which are there across around, and if one can find that how to interlink from the perspective of an engineer, as Sirs mentioned, maybe a software a developer like a AI system that can be connected to any of the application today, which includes the space applications, if not alone only for a rocket engineering. That's my understanding, which can produce it through to the society.
Thank you. Probably, in short, you encourage people who join to do more research in the space-related activities so that they can probably grow in their career also. Is that right?
Yes, sir, absolutely. We do encourage, I also strongly recommend the industry experts who are here on the ground also to say that this softwares cannot be just for a one particular applications. It can be a wide variety of areas which you can combine. That's where we will call it as multidisciplinary approach. So hence, it should be attached to all the places wherever the societal needs can be incorporated for another decade of the space exploration which we are likely to see.
Thank you. I think now it's very easy for me to flip that question from institution to industry.
Thank you.
Mr. Vivek comes from Dassault Systems. Maybe Vivek, as I mentioned, I can just flip the questions to you.
Okay.
So where industry see the gap that exists, what industry wants and what university are not producing today? Maybe before you start answering this question, you could probably explain a little bit about Dassault system for the benefit of our audience.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vivek Salvi. I lead the sales for Dassault Systems in India. Primarily, Dassault is a 40-year-old organization. We are based 172 countries. I'll not spend much time. We are a European-based company, and we all know how best today India enjoys a relationship with France. And we are all speaking about how the innovation is being highlighted for India globally now. And Dassault is playing a very critical role when it comes in terms of our commitment to India. We have a very large R&D center in India, which has more than 8,000 employees in India, out of which roughly 6,500 plus works out of our Pune facility, which happens to be now our largest R&D center globally. And then second R&D center we have based in Bangalore, and where we keep creating the products that helps industry to drive. And that's a quick introduction about Dassault Systems. In nutshell, what we do, we are basically an engineering company who get you the tools and technology which helps to reduce the entire life cycle of a product, right from designing to the manufacturing to the commissioning of the part and managing the entire life cycle. That's the piece of software that we have, and we help the industry to do it. So that's a quick introduction about Dassault System, but coming back to your query, sir, what we are looking forward or the challenges that we have or how this gap could be bridged up. The most important I see from a very different perspective is the space that we are growing. The space industry is growing. It is much faster than the number of engineers or the talent that we are creating today is very limited. So that's one of the key area that as an part of we should look at it, and academia could help, is to get it more engineers, just not the graduate, but know-how about the space industry. And in terms of today, when we see what kind of a challenges that the space industry is facing multiple challenges, not just one or two. They are looking at it, the complete model-based system engineering, that's basically becomes an integral part of any space program. Similarly, we look at it in terms of the adaptive or manufacturing piece that we look is another critical piece, because that's not a mass production, but everyone has to look at it as a specific piece of element, and with composites, how best they can use the tools and technology to make it. The third piece of element that we look at is about how do you go back and integrate different missions that India space is looking, and how we could combine know-how or knowledge transfer from one place to another, to make sure that we have, and what we look at it specifically from an organization which could be an academia, could be industry and the government policy makers, and where COE fits into all of this, is basically combining all this stuff. And they should be able to help the entire industry or the new companies that we are looking in growing in the space sector, is about getting this access of tools and technology. Just not about in terms of having a graduate engineers, but creating a people who have the know-how of this space engineering and then get into the field. That's where I think this challenge could be meant for the industry.
Thank you. I think my type of institutions, they inspire students to take up this space system. You probably refine them after they graduate. I also know that Dassault Systems take engineering graduates where you really take them as intern, educate them for a month or two. In your opinion, you want to make them as industry ready so that industry, based upon the requirement, can absorb. Can you throw some light on that? And how, in your opinion, COE can play a role in that endeavor?
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. As a part of support to the society and towards the industry, what we do is we take a lot of interns. And those interns are not here with us for some time. We really put them onto practical jobs. Basically, we called about as an on-job training. Dassault System has invested, or we look at it, this part of our initiative, which we talk about our 3D Experience Lab, where we have a lot of new hirees or the people who have an aspiration to either start their own organization or later point go back and join any industry. We make them industry ready in terms of not giving them know-how about our tools and technology, but we bring in a lot of domain expertise with them, where they get access not only to use our software, which starts from right from you could start your creating a requirement to creating a logical function to a physical model and finally releasing the product to the industry. At the same time, they have an operation to go back and apply onto the product. And if you look at it in terms of many innovations lab, that's we call as innovation lab, where young engineers or the young talent pool joins us, work for us a given specific time. It's not about 1 or 2 months, especially I've seen they spending 9 to 12 months with us, where they just apply what they have learned to the industry knowledge, because that's the gap that they see. What you learn in the academic versus what industry needs is a gap, and that's where we try to fulfill with this innovation through our CSR actually. That's the lab that we run, which is called 3D Experience Innovation Lab. And that lab also has a global presence. That's we operate from different 5 countries. They're all in terms of connected, because a lot of time we need an expertise to be bringing in. And that's the team that gets a lot of expertise, not only from India, but globally we fetch them. We make them the engineers who are part of this program with us. They go through it and they are in industry specific ready. That's what we have.
Ajay, I consider that you as still as startup, though you come from Helogen Corporation, and also consider Helogen as a technology company. How can institutions evolve into active partners in innovation, workforce development, and commercialization to support new space manufacturing? And before that, probably you could tell a few words about Helogen.
Definitely, sir. So before I start, I would like to thank Government of Karnataka to take this initiative, particularly a bold initiative, particularly in establishing the Center of Excellence for Space Tech Foundation, because this is going to be the key nodal agency, or I would say kind of a organization which connects the industries, academias, end users, also the society, and thanks for that. So myself, Ajay Kumar, I am the Vice President Mission Development in Helogen Corporations based in US. So we do have our presence in UK and India as well. So we are a growing space startup. So as everyone is aware, today the trend of the global space is moving from building rockets, satellites to the application, where biospace manufacturing is one of the key area where it is growing and which brings back benefits to the humanity. So we, Helogen, we are building space biomanufacturing orbital infrastructures where we enable industries, particularly the pharma, life science industries, to perform advanced research and manufacturing of products that is impossible to do on Earth. So we solve different problems such as scalability, repeatability, and removing the human interventions in space. So yes, so answering to sir's question. So sir, I see in different perspectives, sir. So our relationship with academias and institutions are not just kind of a vendors where we transfer knowledge, whereas we be kind of partners from the beginning till execution of the components. From the space manufacturing perspective, so this is very critical for us because most of the innovations that is getting innovated from the academia and the research institutes, so which gets into commercial products. So in meanwhile, there are different steps where we need to support them in terms of not just giving them the confidence on building the research, but also giving them the confidence on where is the gap, particularly from the innovation side, where they need to focus, which will probably create a need for the industries to take that to the transition. So yeah, this would be the thing, sir.
Wonderful. Good to hear that, okay, you consider your vendor as your partner. But partners just don't come straight away. So what process do you adopt to make your possible vendor as your partner?
So we start from ideation stage to start the initial conversation, see what exactly they are building from their laboratories, and see how the hypothesis fits with our capabilities. So that eventually converts from being the vendor to the partner. When I say partner, it's not just giving them the solutions, being them, but also building the ecosystem. because building the ecosystem is one of the key areas where I see that, for growing markets like space biomanufacturing or data centers in space or etc. is very important, and particularly to country like India, so this plays a very critical role.
Thank you. I think continuing with you, Ajay, we all know that again, India has got very strong scientific and engineering capabilities. What are the key ecosystem gaps? In fact, I also asked both of them about the gaps. What you, as a technology player, find key ecosystem gaps preventing us from becoming a global leader in space innovation and manufacturing?
Sir, I could probably answer from the space biomanufacturing perspective itself, because space is a different sector and the pharma and biotech is a different sector. But both these key sectors are getting a lot of nurtured in states like Karnataka, because Bangalore is the hub for both space and biology. So from the ecosystem gap, so what I identify is generally, awareness creation is one of the key areas where I see the gap. The second thing is on the capacity building or the readiness of the sectors to get into the actual works. And the third thing is on the talent, because we have very less talent pool, particularly on this space biomanufacturing side, which is the key things where the ecosystem building, it's very kind of an immediate step to take things forward to address the gaps.
Yeah, while you mentioned that, I also would like you to mention what COE can play a role in to address that.
That would be fantastic, sir. So since I'm aware, being part of the COE different fashion, so it's good to see that COE has its key unique, statement called Space for Societal Impacts, which address the key emerging areas. One is space biomanufacturing and space robotics and the space data centers, which are the three areas which India is going to be the next frontiers in space in terms of that. So on that, I know COE is already working on and building the ecosystem for space biomanufacturing from the workshop building and webinars and etc. So from addressing the gap, I would say if we could plan some sort of an industry and academia sort of discussions and matchmaking things, which would probably identify the real gaps, and that will be a kind of area to think on the design thinking on where exactly that we can find, sir.
Can I summarize what you mentioned?
Yes.
Is we should look at innovations to industry connect symposium.
Definitely, something like that.
So we will have a specific innovations to industry connect symposium where we will have such enlarged discussions. Thank you. We're already looking at that.
Thank you, sir.
To you, Vivek. We keep hearing about different startups coming in, softwares that can be used for space systems development. In your opinion, will the future space ecosystem be built as much on software and digital twins as on rockets and satellites as now? And maybe, based upon your answer, you can also tell how COE can probably play a role in that.
Sure, sir. Thank you. I think the way we are moving and the kind of a technology that we are seeing and the pace that we are all growing, software has become a part and parcel of our life. Whichever technology we use, we are all always look at it connected. Somehow we are creating a virtual twin of ourselves. We wanted to look at it how best this virtual twin can help the space program, because these are extensively and very expensive programs. And there is no retake in this program. Whatever you do, whatever you design, once it leaves the launching pad, there is no way you could go back and repair, because that's what you have already sent to the space. What you could do is, with the help of software, and that's where the critical role of organizations like Dassault Systems plays in creating a virtual twin of every program that you create. It could be your satellite virtual twin, it could be your launch, it could be your operational. All this you could create a virtual twin before you even start creating and looking at to launch, because here you have a chance to repair it, you have a chance to correct it, and you have a chance to improve it. Because a lot of time the improvement that you could do it on a virtual will help you to make sure whatever the product that we are releasing or we are launching through the space is right, and it does its desired operation. And today, if you have a virtual twin of all these technologies, it could be satellite, it could be ground, it could be launch pad, anything that we have, you have a virtual twin. Now with a lot of connectivity that we do of a satellite using telematics, you could bring as a continuously learning program into your new program that we will be doing. So it helps you not only to control it, but help with an operation of managing. And virtual twin get use this technology, and software will make you to happen it possibly. That's where we say you start from a requirement, comes to the functional part of the piece. You create a logic from the functional, and finally you make a physical product. Now looking at it, the role of COE that you asked, I think COE could play a very, very critical and a major role. And I think we are associated with the COEs in Karnataka, where we look at it, access of these tools and technology to the new startups, to the new organization who want to come up and utilize your facility to speed up their program. Because these are very, very critical in terms of when we look at it, nature of the investment that goes through is very critical, and they could use the facility that COE has set up along with us, and where we are taking as a part of initiative to fasten the innovation with the companies, because they are very agile to do it, they are more adaptive, and they are looking to take a challenge, but at the same time COEs helps them to have this platform where they have access to these tools and technology always.
Thank you. And Dr. Srinivas, again, whatever Vivek said has got some relation to this question. The space sector increasingly requires expertise in AI. That's a buzzword now.
Okay.
Robotics, advanced manufacturing, cybersecurity, and data analytics.
Mm-hmm.
How should, in your opinion, COEs work in redesigning education and training programs in association with universities like you?
Sir, I totally agree with having association with COE required, because as an academician, I am saying that students or the researchers who do the research at universities like us are coming up with a new technology, new innovations, new ideas, and they come up with a new experimentation. But when it comes to prototyping and realistic way of developing the products, again industry required. And the technology whatever we develop through any of an AI or a software tools, further it is required to support with the industry. Again, from the industry perspective, they have their own challenges that developing the product from there to again marketing. So this is another strategic thing for them to bring it into the society in a systematic way, where cost could be an effective one, where the advertising about their, marketing also another challenging for them, that how it is been innovative through any of the technology that we use. So COE play a role, bridge between these two, academia and as well as industry, from industry to even the government. So this will be a mentor between academy, industry, and even if required to the respective government or the government related bodies to incubate or develop, prototype, and even to bring till in the market. It is essential to have with the COE development programs like just now you mentioned with the conversation with Ajay, mentioning that such programs like symposiums, awareness programs, development organization, through industry, through academics, it is essential.
Taking forward what our chair mentioned in his opening remarks, that COE in Karnataka will definitely work taking these activities beyond Bangalore. What you think institutions like MAHE can do if COE takes a decision to set up a COE cluster in Mahe or Mahe type of universities?
Exactly, sir. It is required. As an academician, I would say, wherever the facilities, if universities like Mahi can able to show in technology, in medicine, in life science, in any other disciplines, whole as a one bouquet, I would say that multidisciplinary areas that we are working, showcasing, ideating, incubating, experimenting, everything if they are really doing, I think support of COE through definitely can have a cluster at different areas, not only at coastal Karnataka where I am belongs to, but it can be happen through across anywhere in India, because a cluster is not just for one particular region associated, it is also to the benefit of a society who are the region, state, and also to the nation. So that is the main vision of this COE, I believe.
Thank you. Ajay, I have seen you as a startup. Now, of course, you are working for another US company. Also, we consider that as a startup. So from that point of view, as a startup, what you think the COE can do? That means what a startup will expect, the big thing from COE? Is it talent, education, incubation, funding?
Sir, I would say all the five verticals that you mentioned, sir. But any startup generally they go with three different phases. What I know one is technology, team, and traction. So if COE can support the upcoming new generation startups, not the startup in the current generation, but at least the students who are planning to do their entrepreneurial career, if you can, COE can guide them in terms of the key areas and how they can start nurturing from the idea to incorporating the company and supporting them in terms of the knowledge and giving them the adequate technical support that is required, and then the human resource support required. Along with that, COE, I know COE is actively working on and establishing and identifying different, I would say, test facilities and etc. So access to those facilities, I would say it's one of the key thing where most of the startups face as challenge in the early stages. So if these things can be broken, along with I know already Government of Karnataka has came up with the Elevate program, which funds for the startups. So all these things probably solve the startups.
Thank you, Ajay. Now, I'm proud to say that I represent COE in Karnataka. I'm very careful when I use the word proud, because that is what we want to inculcate within COE, that be proud. So whoever gets associated with the COE in whatever fashion, they should feel proud that they are associated with COE. Then only they can take our journey together forward. And also I believe in one thing, give us to give you. So what does it mean is, everybody will ask what COE can do or what government can do. Instead, I would like the industry, startups or universities should tell what gaps they find within themselves, and they should tell us what they want, so that COE can probably look at whether they can do that and fill up that gap. Taking this trend, I would like to open questions to the audience, so that please tell us, so that we can see whether we can tell you back. Yeah, I think we have time for two questions. Only one question. So, no, two. Yeah, please, sir. We can hear you.
Hello, sir. I'm Dr. Jagdish Shivahari, professor and ex-scientist ISRO. Sir, I have a question. How is India's new space manufacturing ecosystem different than global in terms of our strategic objectives, potential priorities, and nation building challenges?
To whom you are addressing this question? Anyway.
This is general, I think,
Anyway.
all are experts.
You want to take that?
I will take. Oh, you can just.
No, no. I think probably you would have got the answer to that question during our conversation. The whole conversation is on that only to find out how COE, what is the role of COE in supporting the new space manufacturing environment in the country. So as you have understood, the institution, they have something to offer. Industry have got something to ask and something to offer. And the startup and the technology company have got something to do. In India, we consider this as an emerging area, unlike in other sectors within the space domain. So that's the reason COE is planning to prioritize on this area. Like Ajay mentioned that we want to focus on the areas which we believe are not many people focusing on, like space biomanufacturing, microgravity, life sciences, space robotics, space data center, things like that. That's one of the reasons why I said this is what we think, may not be correct. So we would like to hear more, not now, as we go along, so that we can probably act based upon that. Thank you.
Can I speak? I'm John, Managing Director, ComSat Systems. I'm in this satellite communications for the last, I think, more than 50 years. Earlier 20 years I was in ISRO and ECIL. So I know how the RF design has worked all these years. I have never seen any time in my life industry and academia coming forward for doing any research work on RF. This is my experience because I wanted some feed systems to be designed, but I never got any, good support. It's off late, it is very recently, this NewSpace from SAC, Ahmedabad, they have given the 6-port feed, that is a monopulse feed, both to transmit, receive, and also tracking. So this is the first time I got this one. So had we got this earlier, probably we would not have bought so many 4-port combiners worth nothing today. Of course, today I am manufacturing because I have designed my own 4-ports for the KU band, C band, extended C band, and all those. And now I have added this 6-port. Why I am telling? Had industry, academia, have they come to our rescue, probably would have stopped many of the, imports. And the funniest part is even today, even the government, they want that it should be from space-time or from somebody and all that. They don't want to believe us. They can test the antennas, they can test the feeds, and there is no support. I'm very sorry to say, I think Center of Excellence should take up now.
Certainly, certainly. So that's what I mentioned, that we tell us for us to tell you. So going by that only, in fact, COE basically acts as a good facilitator and enabler. So COE will not set up any research labs or testing facilities. We will work with the people who have got that skills, who have got the test equipment, who work with the industries like them, institutions like them, to make such things happen for you. So COE will definitely act as a good facilitator and enabler and listen to your inputs. Thank you. Before we close in, I think I just asked one question.
Guruji, I just want to add. What about the point which Dr. Salvi has mentioned? I think we have not bearing. And SIE will
Can
work
I add
with it.
one more thing? Even Dassault Systems, they are here. I have this one. when you sell your, software, you sell it at exorbitant price to small scale companies like me. And if you are buying, selling it to institution.
Sir, I have an answer for that. Yeah, that's a very expensive software of Dassault 3DS system.
That will give at a lower prices to small scale companies.
Yeah, I have an answer for that. The expensive software tools of Dassault 3DS.
But finally we bought paying more than almost a crore of rupees.
That's okay, sir. No. No, we will pay whatever it costs. So the Dassault 3DS system software tools, they have given to COE through kits, and that software tools will be used to train and make software companies who want to design and simulate to make it of that. So we have that program also lined up. Thank you. And just one last question it's the same question to all of us. For example, if you meet here 5 years from now, what you think is the measure of success of COE in your opinion? What makes COE successful 5 years from now if you all meet here and discuss? Please.
After 5 years from this today, if we are collaboratively work with an industry partner like Dassault System, or industries like a Helogen, or with universities like Mahe, or any other example industry, academy, startups, if you take, I would see, as I am from the background of aerospace and working with microgravity research, we would like to make a separate cluster where we can give a potential valuable research outcomes in the area of microgravity, and which can indigenously developing, designing, experimenting at our own cluster, and would able to give to the entire nation who really wanted to work with the microgravity research and the related areas would likely to see over there through COE. That's our vision, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I will put it in a different way quickly. So I would like to see at least 1 or 2 startups from supporting COE going to the unicorn, and another side from the space biomanufacturing side, I would like to see we building some actual benefits for the humans in India through space.
For me, that's a very valid question. Where do we want to see after 5 years if we catch up on this similar platform? We wanted to see the tools that we are proud about it, that we make it, and we help industry to bridge up the gap between what physical and what a virtual or a virtual twin can do, them to use it what we have given it to the COE. And I want to make it most of it. They should be leveraging these tools and technology, and I wanted to hear in next 5 years when we see all of you, how best you have used our tool that are being implanted at COEs for a betterment of Indian space. That's what I wanted to see, sir.
Thank you. How do I write myself as a success in the next 5 years? For example, if we educate many students to take up space as a career for them going forward, then only, in fact, country can achieve what it wants to achieve in the next 10, 15 years. So if we can build a good education system of different kind, when we meet next 5 years, if COE can demonstrate that, I consider that as success. Thank you very much, and I think we don't have much time. We will talk offline. Thank you.
Thank you for a highly insightful session. I request the dignitaries to join us for a photograph. Can we have a round of applause for distinguished